This isn't just a podcast, it's a reckoning, a calling, a return to what's real, to what's right, to what's yours. Because somewhere along the way, leadership became a game of sacrifice, success became a cage, and legacy, something you leave behind instead of something you live right now. The modern culture is here to change that. This is where old rules crumble and something truer, deeper, and far more powerful takes their place. Where leadership is about presence, where success is aligned, and where legacy lives in every moment you choose to lead differently. Co-hosted by Cari and Leah Rolling, this is the space where fire meets flow, where strategy bows to wisdom, and where disruption isn't feared, it's embraced. If you're ready to build without burnout, to create without compromise, to lead in a way that feels like you, welcome to the modern culture.
Welcome back, friends, to the modern culture. So excited to have you here today. So excited that if you've been with us on this journey, you know that we only have a few more principles to go in this season. If you've missed ones before this, please go back. They don't require one another, but they do build on one another. So we would love to have you go back. But today, we are talking about innovation. And when we bring forward innovation to you, like we do with all the other principles, we kind of disrupt the way that we are defining them. We're disrupting the way that we play with them. We're disrupting the way that we actually bring them into and embody them into how it is that we lead and live our life. So as we think about innovation, it's not another brainstorm. It's a wake-up call. Because innovation isn't a strategy. It's not a sticky note. It's not a spreadsheet. It's a state of being, right? And so in this episode, in innovation, it's not something that you do, but it's more who you become. So if you've ever felt like you're running out of ideas, or if you're stuck in overdrive, or you're paralyzed by perfection, this one in particular is for you. Because the truth is, innovation doesn't happen when we're in chaos. It doesn't happen when we're in the hustle. It doesn't happen when we are checking boxes and crossing off lists and rushing for progress. It happens in the pause. It's born in your presence, in the stillness of allowing yourself to be innovative as opposed to chasing creativity. And it thrives when you decide that stillness is non-negotiable. And so we're breaking down today what kills creativity, where performance actually happens, and how to create the kind of leadership that we believe the future wants us to move through. So welcome to Innovation. Cari.
Hi.
Hi, Lovey.
Hi. Oh my gosh. I love when you said it took me a long time to realize that presence was the power of creativity. It took me a long time to realize that.
Yeah.
And actually it came down to, at one point I had my human design done. And in that human design, I'm a manifesting generator. And I didn't know what any of this meant, but I do know that it meant that like the one thing I figured out is that I'm a responder from a creativity standpoint. And in that response requires presence. That response requires silence. And that was a game changer for me, just in this not having to be chasing or forcing. Because anytime, I don't know, and I know we'll dig into this, but like, I don't know if anybody's like, I need to be creative, I have to come up with an idea. And you sit down with a pen in hand and you're like, think about it, think, what can it be? Like, nothing. It happens, like absolutely nothing. And I always joke, it's kind of like the actor in the movie. Oh my God, do you remember when he did this line and I can't remember his name? Oh, what is it? And you walk away and 5 seconds later, it's Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Same type of situation. So I love that you brought that up. And I loved that created the creativity is born in presence.
Mm-hmm.
Silence. So I'm excited to dive into this one even further. So talk to us, as we always do. First and foremost, we've got to dive into what innovation is versus what it isn't. right? What is innovation? And then where do we get it confused?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that innovation isn't something that it's not, as I mentioned at the very beginning, it's not something that you schedule. It's not a brainstorming session. It's not a post-it note. It's not a spreadsheet. It's not a strategy sprint, right? It's not even really about having big ideas. Like even when I was looking for the image, right? For this podcast, I typed in innovation. Like, give me some images for innovation. It was like these light bulbs and like these big brainstorming sessions. And never did I see somebody with their eyes shut, like just allowing themselves to be innovative.
Yeah.
And so again, we have begun to believe that innovation is something outside of us that we reach out to and pull in, as opposed to just establishing this idea that we are innovative beings. And the answers, just like we talked about in the last principle, are within. And it requires that stillness and presence that we gave you as a strategy last week, to just sit in the stillness of it and ask for the brilliance to be birthed, ask for the brilliance to be spoken, to be remembered, right? So that's what it is. It's allowing yourself to think beyond limits. It's the space between kind of that urgency, like, oh, what's the name? What's the name? What's the name? What's the name? It's on the tip of my and execution, right? It's spaciousness, right? What it's not productivity, it's not perfection, it's not more ideas faster. Um, it's not just creativity either, right? Because creativity can still be performative, right?
Yes.
Innovation in itself isn't about output, right?
Mhm.
Like I was saying, it's about an openness within and an acceptance within to reveal what is always known.
Yeah.
So that is what I would say that it is, and that is also what I'd say that it isn't.
Yeah. And I love that you bring that up, because I think the first thing you think about when you think about innovation is the creative ideas that come forward.
Yes.
Right? It's always,
Yes.
it's okay. So what's the next idea? Let's get innovative. Let's go do something. Let's think about this. Let's get creative about this. And it's not that at all. So I love that we get to bring this one forward. So really break us then into neuroscience, right? Because if we're going to disrupt the fact that innovation is not the light bulb,
Yes.
right? But it is
Mhm.
simply a state of being. Then
Yes.
give us some backing for that, Leah,
Yeah.
because it's not what the dictionary says, by the way.
No, it is not. None of these are, because we're making a dictionary, friends. Like, just
Yes.
wait for it, because it's happening. Um, so when when we're in a state of stress, and I think all of our listenership can at least agree that at some point in time in their life, they have been in stress, whether it's tight deadlines or feel a failure or perfectionism, right? Whenever we're in stress, we activate, which we've talked about in almost every single principle, the sympathetic nervous system: fight, flight, or freeze. Okay. And in that state, our brain, friends, our brain literally shuts down access to the prefrontal cortex. You can't gain access to it, right? The prefrontal cortex is where all of our creative thinking is. It's where big picture strategy is, right? It's where innovation lives. Remember, innovation is within. It's not without. So that's it neurologically. When we think about it organizationally, if you just think about it, when leaders, right, in organizations are constantly trying to chase creativity, chase ideas, right? What happens when you chase something? It runs away, right? I mean, that's just the law of survival. When you chase it, it runs, as opposed to just allowing it and be opening about it and be creative about it and let it take however long it takes, right? And as we talk about, predictive index, some people, right, are think to talkers, others are think or speak to talkers. And so we have to give people space to allow their creative genius to come into play here. So organizationally, it's really just understanding where people's genius lies as it relates to creativity. And this is not part of this, but I will bring this forward because it's really important. Um, Everyone's creative. So don't tell me, oh, I'm not a creative one. I'm not the, yes, you are. Yes, 1,000%. You are, because again, if we loop that back into behaviorally, what does it look like? You are creative. You are a creator. You are a
Mm.
creator of your life. You're a creator of your experience. You're a creator of all of it. So just by definition, you've created the most beautiful thing that exists. You and your life and your experiences in it. So that's what I would have to say about that. So when we
Brilliant.
when we think about that, then, right? Our prefrontal cortex shuts down. We have no access to this brilliant part of our brain. Then there's always this rush, this chase organizationally, have better ideas. We have to be more innovative, but I'm going to tell you how to think and I'm going to tell you how to be creative. And there is a formula for it and there's a strategy for it. And this is the way we're going to do it. And it's no wonder why people shut down. And we don't understand them well enough to know when they are creative. So, in all of that, then, Cari, where does it show up? Where does it show up as a leader? How do they know when they're not allowing their most innovative and most creative, beautiful being to come forward in the world?
The moment you stop seeing possibility.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Like if I just said one statement.
Period. Mic drop. Write it down. Write it down.
Yeah.
Yes.
The moment you stop seeing possibility, because possibility is innovation just in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get caught in fear, when we get caught in that inability to truly just to be present in a moment, to take the space to pause, then what we do, like you say, we chase. And when we chase, we don't have the ability because our minds shut down. And quite honestly, we were taught out of innovation as children because there is a right answer. And so you're always looking for the right answer. And if I'm looking for the right answer, then I'm looking to somebody else who has the answer. So then everything that I do becomes a mimic of what they do and not an authentic action of me. So when we sit in just as a person, right? I'm going to pull this out of organization real quick and pull it into the person, because as a leader, as an individual, as somebody who just is a part of humanity, it is your vital duty to just sit in that space of innovation, of possibility, of being open to the authenticity without having to prove. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to appease everybody. Not everybody's going to like it. But you stop being innovative when you try to measure up to something that somebody else has said, when you try to measure up to something that you have seen done. That's when we lose innovation. And when we lose innovation, we haven't just lost the idea, we've lost ourselves. Okay. So you stress, you burn out. These are all the things that happen. I will tell you, for me, as an example, I know when I have reached a point where I am running in stress and I am not running in authenticity and I am feeling like I have to be prove it driven. We talked about that last week, right? Prove it driven instead of passion driven is when I go months, weeks sitting in a bath and I don't have the words flow through me. Like if you have an area where you get excited, an area of where you feel like innovation, ideas flow, right? For me, a lot of times it's pop culture. And so I'll listen to podcasts. If I stop doing that, it's because something in me has shut down. And if you can pay attention to that, you will be able to come back home to self. So that's what I would say in all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, isn't it like you hear it all the time? Is this all there is? Right? You've checked all the boxes. Is this what success looks like? I thought I would feel this or that on the other side of this.
Yeah.
That, right? That is the wake up call too, that you've lost, right? Is this all there is? No.
Oh my gosh. Are you
Right?
kidding?
No, you are all there is. You are the asset, right?
Yes.
And to your point, when we start borrowing like creativity from other people, because if it's their idea, then it's not yours, then you can't fail.
Exactly.
Right? And
right.
Right. And if it's their idea and it's a good one, then that'll be good. Right. No, your idea is the good one. Right. We need more of your good ideas. So
and that's what we're asking for today. right?
Yes.
I know you were
Yes.
going to ask that, like, why now?
I
Because it's
know.
asking for today.
Yes.
Like I think that humans we are at a crossroads in humanity.
Mm-hmm.
We have died to ourselves.
Yes,
We
we
have
have.
died to the chase. We have not allowed creativity. We have stopped innovating. And it's so ridiculous. My kids will watch, Colby will watch a movie and he's like, I don't even have to watch this, Mom. I already know what's going to happen. And I'm like, really? He's like, it's the same storyline over and over and over and over again. Like we have stopped being creative. We have continuously borrowed from other people. And the world's not standing for it anymore. The education system, by the way, was
Oh,
built in the right industrial age, and it's still freaking living there. Only I was talking to a gal earlier this morning. I said, at least back when we were kids, we could be creative. I could solve the problem however I wanted to solve the problem. Now you can't. It's like we were still in a funnel, but at least we've had this much. And now kids are coming down and they're reaching the point of the funnel because all of that has been drowned out of them. We're being called into something different. The way that we have done things of the past is not going to work moving forward. The generation is calling for something greater, and we have to become authentically who we are. We have to dive in and come up with those creative, full efforted ideas, thoughts, words. It's simply words. The words that sit within you that need to be shared from you, please freaking share them and stop trying to sift them through social media. Stop trying to sift them through copywriting just to make sure that they're going to sound good enough for somebody to be able to grab onto. Be disruptive. Say the thing that nobody else will say. Right?
yeah.
That's
I mean,
what we're being called into right now.
that's right. That's right. And I want to take all of that and wrap it into this. We have outsourced our resourcefulness.
Oh my God, over
Right?
and over and over
Over
again.
and over. We've outsourced our resourcefulness to academics. We've outsourced our resourcefulness to our employers, right? We delegate our emotions to them. We think that they should be the one that makes us happy, that doesn't disappoint us, that doesn't do this, and that they should just give and give and give. And in that, we've lost all acumen, all business acumen, all financial acumen, all emotional acumen, all mental acumen, right? And if for no other reason, have this be the podcast where you just decide that you're going to get it back, right? Because we need more humans resourced,
Yes.
right? No
Yes.
matter whether or not you employ people or you're employed, we need you to be innovative and we need you to be resourced. Yes.
1,000%.
Yes. Oh my
Gosh,
gosh.
1,000% we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, oh man, what do we want to dive into next here?
Oh my gosh.
Talk to me about how do we flip this? How do we get to the other side of this? I mean, we can dive into, like how this looks different and how do we change it? How do we shift it? How do we begin to come back home to that resourcefulness that sits within? Especially when things are so easily at our fingertips.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I think one, just choice. That's your superpower. You just have to choose to. You just have to choose. One, you have to believe that you're an asset. One, you have to believe that you are the asset for your life. And because of that, it is a responsibility and a privilege, right? To start taking your life seriously, to take you seriously as the asset. And in so, allow yourself to begin to believe that you are innovative, that you are creative, and no one can take that away from you. And no one has. No one has. And we do some tough love here. Okay. You might want to say, no, I was silenced when I was a kid. Well, you're 40 now, right? Sorry. Okay. So no one, they might have taken away your voice then, but today you get to choose for you now. And no one can take your voice away without your permission. Use it. Use it. Every single act is an act of expression, is an act of conversation, is a request request for your benefit. And it just so happens that it will benefit the people that it's supposed to benefit. And yes, like Cari said, people aren't going to like it, and that's okay. Let them not like it, right? It might not be a perfect idea, right? But neither is the idea that is unspoken. So that is what you get to do. And that is the first thing, is just choose that you are the asset, that you are innovative, and that you are creative, and no one can tell you differently other than you. So be that, do that, and allow yourself to sit in the quiet. It was a request that we made last week. Sit in the quiet. Now, we're not talking go overseas for days and sit in dark with the mat and beads and no, like shut your eyes for Pete's sake. You know how to do it. You do it every night. Okay? Shut your eyes. 90 seconds. That's the rule. That's what they say anyway. Okay? Now there's rules now for shutting eyes. So, it's fine. We're just going to shut your eyes. Shut your eyes and ask. Ask if this was easy, what would I know?
Mm-hmm.
If there was a creativeness about what it is that I want to say and in a different level of expression about how I want to say it, what would that look like?
Mm-hmm.
And be patient. Be patient with the answer because if you were like me, who completely discounted myself, who completely shut my voice down, right? For a while, I would ask that and I wouldn't answer because I just made an assumption that I would ignore me. So you might have to call it up a couple of times, right? It's like that little girl that's pulling on her mom's dress to try to get her attention, and the mom's like, shh, shh, go away, go away, go away. That's what you've been doing to yourself, by the way. So don't be surprised if all this genius doesn't come up magically the minute you shut your eyes. Be patient. Be patient. Keep coming back to you. You're worth it. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say?
Just because, and every week, and we talked about this weekend, every week and every month, and every time we have brought a topic forward, it has become just this, I would say, renewal of spirit within, a calling back into what on the deepest level, but it's a different kind of remembrance. And each time it is a layer that you didn't even know that you had. That's what I would say. Like a layer that you didn't even know that you had. And it is painful and it is exciting. It is something that you will want to run away from. That it's easier to shut down and escape than it is to sit and face. And I say all of that because when you decide, like whether you mentally decide this or not, your spirit will decide for you. And your spirit on some level will decide, you know what, time for you to stop not showing up. Time for you to stop not listening to yourself. Time for you to stop not talking. Time for you to stop feeling like you're irrelevant. Time for, and you could fill in the blank, right? Just over the course of a lifetime, the things that we have navigated. And so first and foremost, I would say anytime that we bring these things forward, just know we've been there, we've done it, and we've done the freaking hard work. I was in Target today. I saw the book, We Can Do Hard Things. And I was like, we need the freaking t-shirt, did it this week, right? Like consistently doing hard things. You can do the hard thing, but the hard thing is not the hard thing that you think outside of you. It literally is the thing outside of you that is trying to reveal within you.
Yes.
Those are hard questions.
Yes.
Those are the deep dives.
Yes.
And where that clarity and the possibility comes, right? So when I look at this, I think it's so easy to step outside of myself and to look at the circumstances around and go, okay, well, but I'm moving and I've got this going on and this going on and this going on. And I could layer the check sheets that they give you at the doctor to see if you're depressed or not, like all of your heightened activities, like the big stressors, mark them off. And I could go check, 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 down the list. It doesn't excuse me out of my voice. It doesn't excuse me out of the possibility of my life. It doesn't excuse me from taking myself seriously. Right. And it doesn't excuse me from being relevant in this world because every human is.
That's right.
So sitting in the silence and asking the question and allowing yourself first and foremost to see the possibility of you for you is where that genius is going to start to come forward. So that's what I would challenge first, as opposed to like, don't try to be light bulb. Don't try to be innovative. Don't try to come up with the next brilliant idea when you don't have the ability to see the opportunity that could be coming down the road today. But sit in silence and then just, where did you stop trusting yourself? Where did you stop trusting the ideas? Where did you stop speaking truth? Where did you silence yourself? When did you start mimicking? When did you start looking to everybody else for the thing that you needed to say in order to be relevant? And why did you feel like somebody else needed to dissect your truth? To spill it out, to translate it in a way that could be understood. right? You start looking at those things and you begin to ask those questions and journal it out. I've never been a journaler, but I got to tell you, notebooks and notebooks and notebooks, it will reveal itself to you. It will. It's already in there.
Yeah.
We've silenced it out. Give it space, allow it to breathe. And once you can then start to see the possibility, you'll know you're in presence, then you can ask the questions of the bigger things. What is that next step? Where is it that I need to be? And how easy can it be? I guess that's what I would say.
So good. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
What would you say for you, Leah, is biggest lesson, biggest takeaway in innovation?
Probably that I'm the opportunity. That I'm like, I kept whiteboarding like this next big idea, this next big idea, this next big like concept. And what always escaped me was, wait a second, I'm that next concept. I'm the opportunity. Like looking for that next possibility, I'm the possibility.
Yes.
That next big thing, I'm that next big thing. You're that next big thing. We're that next big thing. And until we come to an acceptance, or at least a borrowed belief that that's a possibility, that we are the possibility, that next thing most likely won't reveal itself, because it needs you to accept that you're that next big thing for that next big thing to be revealed to you.
Yes.
So that is what I would say is my biggest takeaway, because until that happened, it's just easier to just look at everybody else's next big thing and to be like, oh, I could probably do that. I could do that. I could do that. But knowing doesn't change anything. That's why the knowledge era, right? This information era has to stop sometime. Like this knowing era, like we know enough. Like there's knowledge is cheap. We don't need a knowing era. We need a being era, right? Where we can step into who we are and know that we're the possibility, we're the opportunity, we're the gift.
Yep.
And then from that, be innovative.
Yes.
Be innovative.
Yes.
Right? Don't create innovation, be innovative. That's what I would say.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. And I would love for people to just take that, like that insight of, you are the possibility. You are this thing. You are the opportunity. Right? And there's nothing outside of you that's ever going to be able to grant it to you. And it doesn't matter how many amazing big ideas you come up with. Little secret, by the way, they've already been freaking done. It's already been done. Yes. It's just, you know what I mean? Like you said, we've been in a knowing era. Like we're not creating anything new other than you.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And
that is your difference maker, right? Yes. All the big ideas probably been done before. Right? Yeah. Unless you're one of the like 0.00001 that actually has a brand spanking brand new idea. Right? You're the idea. Of the 7 billion people on the planet, you are. Your unique fingerprint makes you uniquely you. No one is more you than you. Right? We need you to be you. Yeah. Take all of the knowing, take all that, and just go be you. We need more world. We need a bigger world with people that are stepping into the brilliance of them.
And that's it.
That's it, friends.
That's it. Oh my gosh. Yay.
We've got one more. So we'll see you all right next week. Yes. The last principle. You're not going to want to miss this one, friends. If you're looking to find us on social media, find us on Facebook. Come back here next week. And we are going to wrap up this season with the last episode on Principle 10.
Thanks so much.
You have been listening to The Modern Culture, co-hosted by Leah Rowling and Carrie Kenzie. This is a space where fire meets flow, where strategy bows to wisdom, and where disruption isn't feared, it's embraced. Tune in every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Transformation Network, because this isn't just a podcast. It's a reckoning, a calling, a return.